Hey everyone,
And Steph.
I'm Michael
And today we're checking out Sweetlands.
from Uchi.
Yes.
This game plays 1 to 4 players and has a box playtime of a whopping 100 to 200 minutes. Now, keep in mind, all of this may change because this is a very early prototype that is not
Yes.
yet on Kickstarter.
Right. It's going to be on Kickstarter towards the end of October, is what I've been told. I think you can follow the page now so you can get notified on launch if you enjoy what you see. This company also did a really interesting game called Ostia earlier, which my game group happens to absolutely love. So, and I've played it a couple times and I've enjoyed it. You have not even played it
No,
yet.
I've not
So.
even played it. This is my first Uchi game.
Yeah. And so this one's actually very different, which I can appreciate both of them, and I'm very excited to show off this one.
Sounds good. So,
Please.
yeah, Cookie Bunnies. So this is going to be the teach. If you prefer to watch the playthrough, click the link down below and you'll be able to watch that playthrough. But if you want to learn the rules first, stick around. And thanks to Uchi for sending us this pre-release version of Sweetlands. But they didn't give it to us in exchange for this video. They gave it to us because they know we like to play all the games. So let's get right to this teach and look at this super colorful game. So, let me make sure that everything, this is pre-release rules. All of these rules could change a little bit. So anytime, if you see something on a card or on one of these tokens, I know one of these tokens in particular has already changed. So we're going to follow what it says in the rule book and not what it says on the token. So if you see anything on some of these cards or on one of the tokens, or you see an icon or a complete feature that is missing later on, this is still in development. There are some tiles that we do not have or cards that we don't have. We currently do not have the mid-game and end game bonuses. I think they're called milestones.
Yeah.
We
So we won't be playing with those, but they are referenced in the rules a little bit.
Yes.
During setup.
Milestone tiles are tiles where if you're the first to get something built,
Okay.
like a certain number of tiles, a certain number of buildings, a certain number of cities, then you will be the first to claim those. The other tiles, and I'm looking to see what they're called. Regardless of what they are called, they are basically end game status things. If you meet the requirements of that, then I believe you're going to get 15 points. Or if you have the most of it, I think it is, then everybody with the most of that is going to get 15 points. Second most will get 7 points.
Okay, so again, those won't be in our game, but we anticipate those being a feature of the campaign.
Yes.
And maybe they'll have extras and stuff. So we don't really know what they're going to add into that Kickstarter so much, but in the rules, it's like you should get 270 points. We weren't even like
actually, yes, we were actually. We were, yeah.
Yeah, we were 140.
We're about 140 points off.
So,
and we may just be bad at the game. However,
possible.
Keep in mind that the chances of getting points will increase with these milestone tiles.
Oh, for sure. You'll get more points that way.
So, place the main board on the table. You're going to place the round marker, looks like this. Going to place this on the 1, like so. You're going to place the 4 add action tiles down here. It does not matter whether they're on top or on bottom. I've actually pre-planned this so that when you turn these over, this is a building action. This is also a building action. This is a move along the industry track action, as is this. So I have put them where I think they should be. These are not randomized. However, keep in mind that there might actually be more of them.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, why did they do it to
me?
Yeah,
why is it not pre-printed on the board?
Yeah, so Right.
There might be more of
Yeah.
these.
This is that they'll make more, but we don't know.
Correct. So, um, you're also going to separate all of these skill tiles by type. You'll only realistically need one per player, but there are 3 of each of these. And again, these are the only 12 that came in the box. There might be more on the Kickstarter. Um, Place the round support board next to the main board, and you'll notice that there are round support tiles. Some of them just have currently a blank back. Some of them have what's called the pass symbol. It looks like a little egg timer sort of, uh, I guess, a little alarm clock sort of thing. You are going to need a number of those tiles based on player count. For 2 players, you're going to need 8 of these normal tiles and 2 of the pass tiles. With 3 players, you're going to need an extra pass tile and an extra normal tile. With 4 players, you're going to need 2 extra normal tiles. You're also going to place, if you're playing with 3 or 4 players, you're going to need what these are called imitation boards, where you are copying an action of another spot, and also will open up different opportunities. For instance, there's 1 diamond space here and a diamond space on this, what's called an imitation board. You're going to need the right one for 3 and 4 players, and this one for 4 players, and just put them next to the board. We won't need them because we are playing
There
2
was
players.
one thing about those that it's not printed that you needed to spend for money, I think, or on a space. But anyway, that's in the rules.
Not sure. So we're gonna move right along.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they'll update some iconographies.
Right. So there are 4 different types of terrain tiles for, I believe it's plains, sea, mountains, and forest, or otherwise known as green, gray, orange, and blue. You don't need to shuffle these. All of them have the same things on the backs of them. If you'll notice, C will give you 2 coin income. This will give you 1 wood income, 1 grain income, and 1 iron income. Or you can go up on some of the tracks. I'll explain those in a little bit, just letting you guys know. Separate these into stacks, and you don't even need to shuffle them. You're just going to have them accessible. That's in case you are going to build a mountain tile, you'll just have the whole stack nearby. You'll have a bunch of road tokens and diamonds. Road tokens look like what looks like this telephone receiver, or sort of looks like a bridge. No, it is a road. You've got action discs, you've got diamonds, and you have all of these resource cubes in values of 1, 5, and 10. Just put these to the side, and those are available for anyone. Steph is going to be the starting player. She's going to get, looks like a coffee grinder. Not sure why that would be a sweet treat, but sure,
Yeah,
whatever.
sweet tweets with coffee.
Sweet tweets.
The sweet tweets. Don't make fun of me.
You're going to randomly select 5 milestone tiles and place them with any side facing up beside the main board, at least currently. The graphic shows 6 of them, so I'm not sure if it's going to be 6 or 5 in the real game. As I mentioned, we don't even have those. Also select 4. Well, the picture shows 4 of the end game tiles. And the rules don't say anything. We're not sure what that has, so we'll have to, it says there's a little glitch in the rules, so we're not sure exactly how many we're supposed to have. And since we don't have them, we're not going to worry about it.
Yep.
For each individual player, you're going to take a planning board and an industry development board and put them in front of you. Beginning with the player to the right of the starting player, who is me, each player is going to select a character board and a map board of their choice. So this is the industry board here. This is the map board. You'll notice that there are two sides. One of them is a side that is the same for everyone, down to each and every hex and all of the graphics and everything. The other side is unique to each map. So I have selected my map. I have also selected my character, Alice T. Rose. Now they've got a cool little system going on where it's a double layer board. Then you put your little character card inside the board, and that is how you keep track of everything. And you'll notice you've got areas where you have income of coins and wheat and wood and iron. And here's where you're going to keep all of your resources with the 1s, 5s, and 10s cubes. You're also going to have areas where to put the buildings. And you'll notice over here, I've already got my buildings placed on my board. Highly recommend you make up a player bag where you're going to keep all of these buildings. You've got the cheese tents. You've got the little cotton candy houses. You've got the brownie factories. You've got these little coffee shops. Every player is going to have one of these. What is that called, Steph? The ice cream clock tower.
Clock tower, yeah.
Some of these milk cartons, which go on the industry track, and these cute little cookie bunnies.
They're so cute. I love them.
So you're going to place those onto your board as follows. All of the coffee shops go down here at the bottom. Cheese tents, the cotton candy houses, the brownie houses, your milk cartons. You can place them face up like this, but for y'all's enjoyment, placing them down so you guys can see it. Your ice cream is going to go, your ice cream clock tower down here on the bottom of your board. I'm going to show that to you a little bit closer up here, because on everyone's character board, you are going to have your starting stuff that you're going to get, including your starting diamonds. Just put those in front of you. I like putting them down here on the character picture. You'll also notice that each character will have an ability that's going to be on for the entire game. Each character is going to have requirements for building their ice cream clock tower, and whatever ability that you're going to get when you get your ice cream tower built. Each of these characters will have different iconographies down here on the bottom of the board. So it will make things a little bit different every time you play. Each player is also going to get a carriage token and a locomotive. The locomotive you're just going to put beside your board. You're going to eventually put them both on this industry track up at the top. You're going to place your carriage on that first space. Now you'll notice these spaces, Steph, I'm not sure where they are. Here, there it is. You'll notice that each of these spaces, they are either orange or green. As you're moving along these spaces, the orange ones are going to activate when you move your carriage across them, when you pass over them or land on them. The green ones will activate when your locomotive moves over the top of them.
Delphia says she hopes they keep the double layer boards. I think they will.
Yes, I'm almost certain they will.
Yeah.
I think most of the development for this game is already done. All they're going to do probably is tweak some of the numbers. Like one of these bonus tokens, the numbers are slightly tweaked. They might tweak some of the values of the cards, but I think this game is largely complete just the way it is.
Yeah.
So, at the bottom of the industry development board, you're going to place your food marker on the 0 space, and you're going to put your cookie bunnies in these little squares here. Again, normally they are standing up, but for your enjoyment, we're going to put them flat. These buildings are standing up straight because it's on the double layer portion, and I can probably put those turned a little bit for you guys. Anyway, um, do. Sorry for the delay. You are going to place your markers. The cubes count your tens, and the cylinders count your ones value for each of your resources. You'll notice that your income, whatever the starting value is marked with white on your board. So this one would start off with an income of 16 coins. Mine only has 15.
Mine has 11.
Wow. But I'm only starting off with 2 coins.
That's
You're
true.
starting off with 7.
That's true.
So it is a little bit different.
I like that. They have a ton of characters.
Yeah.
And they're all double-sided. So
Love it.
for like 10 games, you'll play a different character.
Yep. You are going to place one of your little hex cylinders, or maybe they're octagons. I believe they're octagons. You're going to place one on each of these rows of the prosperity track. And you've got 3 different point markers. You've got this industry cog marker. These are called industry points. I think Steph likes to call those milk points.
They are.
Because it's definitely a thing of milk, and it goes along this. It's for going along this milk track.
Yeah, it's the milk track.
It's the milk track. There's also city points, which at the end of the game, every city point's going to be worth 2 victory points. And hey, here's your plain old victory point tracker. All of these are going to go on the 0 spot, and they will each be tracked on their own. Currently, we don't have any 100+ markers, and you will go past 100 with your victory point. So, beginning with the player to the right of the starting player, that's me, you're going to select one space on the round support board to put your final octagonal cylinder. It's going to go on one of these 5 columns, or 6 or 7 columns, based on whether you're playing your player count. I am choosing this one here. That's going to eventually give me income of an iron and a wood. So, since I have taken that one, Steph took the one right next to me. So, this game is going to have 5 rounds, as you can see right here. Every round is going to have a start phase, an income phase, an action phase, and a cleanup phase. At the start phase, you're going to skip this in the first round, but you advance the round marker. And based on the second round, you're going to reveal these 2s. On the third round, you're going to reveal these 3s. Then we're going to do the income phase. You're going to collect income in a certain order. Now, based on this income, one step of income could indeed get you something that will give you income in a later part of the income phase, so it must be done in this order. First, you're going to check your round support tiles. And this is sort of what I'm talking about, is I'm going to get an income of each of these wood and iron. So I'm going to increase like so.
That's so annoying.
What?
What? Can't believe it.
You can't believe what?
I wanted that.
Oh, well, that's why I took it.
Yeah, I know.
Then, if your character has an income ability, then you get to resolve it. Now, all of the character powers are explained in detail in the rule book. Mm-hmm. If you are unsure of what the iconography, I got to say, this game is super icon heavy. Yeah. And until you get used to it, you're probably going to spend a lot of time on the back page of the rule book trying to figure out what the icons means. Totally worth it, though. Then you're going to refer to the 4 income tracks on your character board and take income based on that. I need my $15.
11.
And I need 0 wheat. Oh,
wheat.
makes me sad. Wheat. I need
Wood.
2 whopping wood and 1 iron.
No or
So
iron.
usually you're not going to have a lot of income on these. That's going to come when you put tiles on the board. Then we're going to get citizen deck. We're going to get citizen deck cards. You're going to draw 5 cards from the citizen deck. On the first round, you are going to get 6 instead of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are spots on your board that will allow you to draw an extra card. We'll get to that in a little bit when I tell you how to get there. But you will get a 6th card and a 7th card if you have built to those spaces. So you will be able to keep only one of these cards from round to round. So make sure to use them. Here's another catch. You can never get rid of your last card. You can never do an action that would require you to get rid of your last card. What are you going to say?
Well, Jalthea was like, so your player board would change, right? Well, this is the player board that you slide into the double layer board.
Yes.
So you're picking a character, and the boards are all different. So they'll have different icons here,
different bonuses
here, and the all starting abilities and everything. So they come with, I think, 5 of these or 6 of these.
And that they're double sided. That's 12.
Yeah, I think
that's probably 6 or 7 of them.
Oh, there's 7 of them.
Yeah, so that's 14. That's what I was thinking.
A lot to choose from.
Yeah. Then that's the end of the income phase. Then we're going to do the action phase, starting with the starting player and going clockwise. You're going to take rotating turns. And on your turn, you can either use an action space, you can play a citizen card, you can use a flip ability like, hey, take this bonus tile and flip it to get a diamond. That's flipped. I can now use it again next round, not this round. And finally, pass. You don't want to pass until you're totally out of things to do.
Yep.
So, if you're ever instructed to draw citizen cards, there is no market. You're just gonna draw from the top of this totally massive deck.
What?
Look at that. This is going to give you lots of opportunities for differently playing games each time.
Yeah, so if you like big card decks like Earth or Terraform Mars and stuff, then you'll probably like all the different choices with cards.
So keep in mind, remember, you have to keep your last card in your hand because this is the card you're going to keep from round to round. If you have 2 cards in your hand, don't do it because cards are worth resources and resources are worth money. So you might as well go ahead and get rid of any cards that you have until you only have 1 left. In round 5, you can use all your cards. That's the only time you can use all your cards because there's no round 6 to go to.
Yep.
So, and then after the action phase, after we are all done with our actions, we are going to do cleanup. So let's talk a little bit about these action spaces. Each of these action areas has either 1 or 3 spots to place action discs on. Now, if you've got an action disc in your hand, there are probably certain rules for that. There is a spot that will give you a disc, but generally speaking, you will not have these usually in your possession. Usually what you're going to do is you're going to select an action, and then you are going to place an action disc on the spot. So if I want to spend 6 wheat to get 3 tiles of these terrain tiles, I will place on this first dot, the leftmost dot here. Then I have to discard 1 card. Now, let's say I've gone there and now Steph wants to come along and then do that action.
Yeah.
Steph will take an action disc. Notice it's not Steph's color. There's no colors on these action discs. It doesn't matter. If she wants to do this, she's going to place her disc here and then pay 2 cards. Then whoever comes here later on, could be me, could be Steph, can come here and pay 3 cards. So it all depends on how many action discs are in that spot. If you're in the first spot, 1, second spot, 2, third spot, 3. You cannot willingly, not that you would ever want to, but you cannot go to the third spot and spend 3 cards. You'll always go to the leftmost spot. So, and that's called a hand cost. Now, there are names for each of these things, like general action or basic actions and advanced actions and special actions, but ultimately they're just actions. You really don't need to remember, oh, hey, it's a certain sort of action. There might be iconography on these cards that will show these specific symbols, but if you don't see those, then don't really need to worry about that too awful much. Now, one of these spots is, let's say I've gone here. Let's say Steph wanted to go here to this dot. It says it's an action disc. She's going to pay 1 card for this because she's the first one on there. She's going to discard a card and she's going to get an action disc. On a later turn, she can spend this action disc for a cost of 0 cards. So she could come along here, pay 0 cards because she's already paid 1 for her disc, and use this. No matter if there's 1 or 2 discs there, she could be the third one that comes along and pay 0 cards instead of 3 cards. So now, if this is full, she's not doing this action. There may be a way to do it with these imitation boards. You'll see there's a way to copy certain spaces, and you'll notice that this is a basic or no, this is a special or advanced action spot. Steph and I have not played with those, so that is all we are going to talk about with those. Now, anytime you see a red number on any of the things here or in your cards, that means spend. Black numbers means collect.
It's usually followed by a red arrow, too.
It's usually followed by a red arrow, yes. If you see something on a card that has a white arrow, it will let you know whether you can do it only 1 time by the presence of the white arrow, or a white arrow with an infinity symbol on it, which means you can do it as many times as you can afford to do it. So, some of these other areas, they should be pretty easy to figure out. Pay 2 diamonds to move up on any 2 prosperity tracks, or 1 track 2 times. So I could spend 2 diamonds to go up 2 spots. Now notice that this line only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces before you're to the end. If you wanted to advance beyond that, you'd have to pay a diamond and you're going to get the effect. This line has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces, so it's a much longer path. These are how you're going to score points at the end of the game. That's all that this is for. Some of these are pretty simple. Gain a diamond, draw 2 cards, 6 coins, build roads, advance on the food track or the cookie track. So you're going to advance along here, and anytime you pass by one of the spaces with an ability, you're going to get that thing. Build 2 buildings. I'm going to talk a little bit about building buildings here in a second. Take and place 1 cookie rabbit. Cookie rabbits have to be placed certain ways. There are symbols underneath some of these cookie rabbits. So if you place a cookie rabbit, you will get the things underneath that symbol. Also, you have to have advanced beyond 2 or beyond the cookie rabbit that you want to place. So I could place, where I am here, I could place 3 cookie rabbits, but I could not place the 4th cookie rabbit. Pay 3 iron to advance 2 spaces along this industry track. So I would move along 2 spaces, and hey, look, I get to build a road and place a tile. If this had been green, as I mentioned before, I will not be able to get the bonus with my orange carriage. In order to go beyond this milk carton, I will need to build this milk building somewhere on my board. That will enable me to go a little bit farther, and then I will need to build the second milk before I can continue on. Now, at the moment that I get my locomotive, I'll have my locomotive on here, and let's say that I can move. Let's say I can move 3 spaces. I can split the movement between these. I could go 2 with this one and 1 with this one if I wanted to. Let me put those off to the side. Place these back where they belong. And that is most of the special, basic, and advanced actions. Let's talk a little bit about placing terrain tiles onto your map. So whenever you, as I mentioned before, whenever you see this little hex with the question mark symbol, you can build any of the 4 terrain types on your map. You are going to place the terrain tiles. They call it face up, but they mean, at least in the rules that we have, it means place it with this side up, not this side up. So place them with the non-effect side up, and you must place it next to your capital, which is always down here, at least on the maps that we have. You'll notice these 2 buildings down in the bottom area. You can place next to that or next to anything and next to any other terrain tile that's on the map. So if I were building 3 tiles, I could build 1, 2, 3. Now, in the current version of rules we have, we're not sure whether you get this effect whenever you cover it. We assume so.
Yeah.
But it's not explicitly spelled out in the rules.
It would be kind of silly, but I'm pretty sure
Agree.
as soon as you place it. But
so, hey, I placed this. Hey, I'm going to get 5 coins. Pretty good. Now, how do you flip these over? That's by placing these roads. Now, when you're placing these roads, notice that this would allow me to place 3 rows. You're going to place these Catan style. You're not going to place them like so. You are going to place them on the hex edges, and they must start at the capital, or they have to continue on from a previously placed road. So I could place 1, 2, 3 like that. This will enable me to turn up any tokens that are directly next to that road. It would not enable me to turn over this C hex unless I had placed the C hex like so. I'd have to give up my 5 coins if I had done that, but it will enable me to flip this over. As soon as you flip this over, you're going to have to choose which of the bonuses you want. Remember, for all of these planes, you'll have to choose either an income of a wheat, or you can advance on one of the orange prosperity tracks. Now, as you're advancing along these prosperity tracks, you'll notice that some of them will give you resources as you land on or pass over them. If you are the first to arrive at the end spot of any of these tracks, you will get whatever bonus is there. That does not prevent the other player from going there, but the other player will not get this final bonus.
And they still have to pay the diamond.
And you still have to pay the diamond.
But it's generally a big point swing.
It's generally a lot of points at the end of the game.
If you're going for it, you should go for it.
For sure. For example, let's say Steph and I were both placing cookie rabbits everywhere.
Hey.
Well, if you can get up to the end, I know cookie rabbits is your thing, right?
This board, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get to the end, you're going to get 6 points immediately. The first player only gets that. Now, these anybody can get at any time. The end ones, only that player. You're going to get 7 points per cookie rabbit at the end of the game. I also want cookie rabbits. Maybe I join you there. I don't get the 6 points, but I will get 7 points per cookie rabbit.
It will be really hard to do that, by the way.
It will. Now, let's say I don't get there. Hey, these spaces give you 5 points per cookie rabbit. These spaces give you 4 points per cookie rabbit. This space gives you nothing.
Yeah.
No points per cookie rabbit.
Neither of us built a cookie last time.
Right. So keep in mind, you can build roads happily along the paths like this. You can even branch them out. As soon as you place a terrain tile next to a road or a road next to a terrain tile, that terrain tile is going to flip and you're going to get the bonus on that tile. Here's another thing. As soon as you place a building on the terrain tile, you're going to get that bonus yet again. Now, you cannot place a building on a hex that is not flipped over. Let's say I don't have these and I've built these plains hexes like so. I cannot put a building here because this tile is not turned over. How do you get this turned over? Either you have to have a special ability to do so, or you have to build roads to that spot. You probably want to just build those roads.
Yeah, but I don't have the wood.
I'm sorry, you have to have it. So
many things.
You cannot move terrain tiles once you've placed them. I mean, you could probably take back a move immediately, and depending on your game group, they might say, okay, put it where you wanted it. You cannot stack other terrain tiles on top of a terrain tile. When you place buildings, you can place one building per terrain tile. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here momentarily. Also, you cannot move your road tokens after you've placed them. And so they are just meant to go right along the edges of the hexes. You don't have to just have this one set of roads. I could start off over on this side. As long as it starts next to my capital, I'm good to go. And then I could happily place this direction. Let's see here. If I can get, as I mentioned, if I can get my roads so that I am next to, so that I am next to this extra draw space, then I will qualify for the extra draw as long as I have both a road and does it need a road next to it? No, it just needs a terrain tile.
It needs both.
It needs.
No, the road.
This is not sufficient.
It has to be a long.
It has to be a long. Now you'll see on this map. It doesn't explicitly say it in the rules. It does say adjacent. There's a faint white line on these three edges. So if I were to place here, I would then qualify. I have a terrain tile and I am next to this. So on the drawing cards phase, I would be able to get one extra card. If I can go over here, it's 2 extra cards. That'd be great.
Extra cards is very good and we recommend it.
Yes. Because cards is always worth resources. And I'll talk about those free actions here momentarily. So, yes, just to clarify, a road touching at a point does not ever qualify.
Right, it has to be along the edge.
You'll notice that there are also some docks around the outside. At some point, you're probably going to want to move your road so that it's touching one of these docks and that you have a terrain tile next to it. That means you are going to qualify for these dock bonuses at the end of the game. If you build 0 docks, negative 40 points. If you build 1 dock, negative 20. 2 gives you minus 10. 3 gives you minus 5. All 4, it's a super hard thing to do in 5 rounds. It gives you 10 points. So effectively, your first one's worth 20. Your second one's worth 10. Your third one's worth 5, and your fourth one's worth 15.
I'm just saying, It's what won me the game.
That is indeed what won you the
So,
game. Because I had
don't
one, you
forget
had
about
two.
that 10 points was enough for me to jump over him.
Indeed. Now, let's talk a little bit about placing property tokens. Notice this iconography has changed a little bit in the rules versus
On the board.
on the board. You will have to pay the amount that it says on your board for each building you want to place. Pay the total amount and build 2 buildings. Or later on, whoops, wrong one. Later on, pay the amount plus 1 wood total to build 3 buildings. So all of the building costs are on the side. You'll notice that I need to spend 2 wood and 3 iron to build any of these 3 buildings in the bottom here. It could be a cheese tent or a cotton candy or a brownie. You can only build, as I mentioned, on terrain tiles that are turned face up or onto these 2 capital spaces. If you build a building on these capital spaces, there is a bonus on it of any 1 income or any 1 prosperity track. So that's sort of nice. Now, you do not get anything on the spot. Let's say I'm building on this spot here where I previously got a bridge. That dude's covered up. I'm not going to be able to get that bonus again. I will only get the bonus on that terrain tile. So, where do I want to place these buildings? Well, you might want to place a building because it's going to give you a certain bonus. Milk cartons is going to free up your path for your carriage or your train. These 3 buildings here are going to give you certain benefits as you move up. If you build all 5 of these cheese houses, you're going to get a cookie rabbit bonus. If you build all of the cotton candy houses, you are going to get a city point bonus. And if you build all the brownie factories, you are going to get an industry point bonus.
That got me like 18 points or something.
Yeah, because you built all the brownies,
I
didn't you?
did. About
brownie
all the
towers.
brownies. It was a brownie town.
Every time, yeah, you're going to go to Brownie Town?
Yep. There's also these ones.
Yes. When you build one of these coffee shops, you get to activate all of the cards that are placed below this coffee shop. Now, I haven't talked about playing cards under here yet. I will momentarily, but just for now, keep in mind, there's a little number here. It says a 1. You can, at the start of the game, place 1 under each column. You'll notice that this card is an orange card, and if I tuck it under, it goes in the orange column. Some cards are wild and can go under any column. But let's say I wanted to put this under the orange. I would pay a diamond and place it right here under, so that whenever this activates, I'm going to get, this says 1 coin income. That'd be sort of nice.
There's also basic abilities every player has.
Yes. You're going to get whatever it says here plus whatever it has underneath. If it doesn't have anything underneath, you're still going to get something. So keep that in mind. Now, how do I build a second card down here to activate? Well, you're going to have to build that at the second level of that thing. So if I wanted a second orange building, I would have to go past this number 2 line on the orange track. If I wanted to put my second green, I have to get rid of these 2 on this green track. And this one, as you can see, purple track. If you want to put 3 cards underneath each, you're going to have a lot of diamonds for that. But you'll also have to build beyond this number 3, which is the 4th building in those tracks. And that's as much as you can do, is 3 underneath each.
That's a lot of buildings.
That's a lot of buildings, for sure. But every time you see this symbol, that means activate that row of buildings underneath, plus your little default value. Whoops, got those backwards. You'll notice sometimes it will have a gray symbol. That lets you know you can choose any one of these three and place it. Now, you'll also notice that this is also a building. You will get to place this building for free as a free action whenever you qualify for this. You notice it says unlock if you have placed, this one is 6 orange terrain tiles, and you've gone up. Is this the cookie track here? Let me take a look here. Oh, it looks like the cheese tent. You have placed 3 cheese tents. You have played 2 orange cards or 4 of any cards, and you have unlocked your first star. Then you can do this to get all of your clock tower bonuses and place your ice cream clock tower just as if you were placing a normal building. So, what does the star mean? I haven't talked about the star yet. There are stars here and underneath this third cotton candy building. Excuse me. And where's the third space, Steph?
On your track.
Oh, right here on the food track. There are 1, 2, 3, exactly 3 of those stars. The first star allows you to build this. The second star gives you a bonus token. And the third star gives you another bonus token of your choice, assuming it's available.
We think they should put a little graphic.
Yeah, there's plenty of spaces they can add these little mnemonics to help you remember. Now, how do you want to arrange these? You want to arrange these on your map in groups of 3 or more, preferably only 3. A group of 3 different buildings makes what's called a city. So it could be these 3 down here. It could be a cheese and a coffee and a milk. It could be a cheese and a brownie and a clock tower. It could be any combination of those. It cannot be a cheese and a brownie. Unless you're my character, that's a spoiler alert. That's my ability. I can have any 3 make a city. And this by itself, with my character, makes a city. So there are exceptions to all of these rules.
The hard part is not connecting things.
Yes. Now, if you've got a set of 3 here and a set of 2 here, and you need to place a third, and the only place you can place it is here, guess what? That makes a contiguous group of 6. How many cities is that? 1.
Yeah.
It's not a 3 and a 3 smushed together. It's one big city of 6 buildings. So now, if you've got 4 buildings and there are 3 unique, yes, it is a city. That's good.
Yeah.
Even if you've got 2 cheese tents, that's fine. You can do that. As I mentioned before, you can have only 1 building per tile. So you're going to have 3 tiles flipped over before you can do that. Now, how do I place my cookie rabbits on the map?
There's an action.
So there is an action for it. 4 wheat puts a cookie rabbit, but they're going to have to go on the map. Here's the rules for cookie rabbits. When you place a cookie rabbit, as I mentioned, you have to be at or beyond that level of the cookie rabbit. So now I can place my first one. And this must go with a building. So let's say I had this, and there was a road next to it, so it was flipped over. And I'd already placed my cheese tent on it. I can place my cookie rabbit with it. I can have 1 cookie rabbit on 1 building. I can't have 2 cookie rabbits on 1 building.
Yep.
So 1 cookie rabbit per building. I don't know the answer to this, Steph. Maybe you do. Do I get my bonus that when I place a cookie rabbit on it?
I don't think
Uh,
so, but I do not know.
if
Try and look
I'm looking, if there's a bonus shown below the cookie rabbit token, you gain that bonus, but I don't think you get it
for placing the
for
tile.
placing.
Yep.
If you have the opportunity to place a cookie rabbit, but there are none available, you get 6 points. Good luck. I don't think anyone's ever, I've never,
I'm gonna do it.
you're going to do, okay, good. If you were to advance on the food track, but you cannot advance on the food track, you get 2 wheat. Again, good luck on that. If you advance on a prosperity track and there's no space to go, too bad. There's no bonuses for that. So, if one of your industry markers is on the final space and can't and needs to go another, you're going to get 1 victory point. Now, your locomotive and your carriage can indeed occupy the same space, but neither of them can move past a milk carton that is on the map. Let's talk a little bit about playing citizen cards. There are 2 types of citizen cards. There are immediate citizen cards that we talked about a little bit before, where you can automate them by placing them under a certain group. But first you pay the amount, then you get what the immediate bonus is, and then you can automate it optionally. You can't automate this later if you choose not to automate it immediately, and it costs 1 diamond. So that's pretty expensive. Diamonds are hard to get. So I'm going to notice that this is in a square. If this were not in a square, I would have gotten 2 iron. It is in a square. I'm getting 2 iron income, not iron pieces. And if I automate this, every time that this grayish purple track is automated and activated, I'm going to get 1 more iron income. Now notice there are 6 of these icons, and only this little Balsa is lit. These are tags, sort of like terraforming Mars tags. There are 6 different desserts. Sometimes things that you have will benefit based on the types of tags you have. For example, this is going to give me points for every Balza card that I have. And hey, this leads me into my next type of card. As I mentioned, there are immediate cards, and there are also pass cards that are activated only whenever you pass. So, whenever I play this for 15 coins and I pass, then for every one of the gray cards that I've placed, I'm going to get 1 victory point. Notice it is arrow infinity. I'm going to get 1 point for every one that I have played, whether or not it is automated or just one that I chose not to automate, and I just keep down here next to my board. Plus, every time I pass every one of these bounces that I have, I'm also going to get 1 point for those as well. So pass cards, super interesting. Notice you cannot automate a pass card. There's nothing underneath it. There are also immediate cards that also have no automation on it. You cannot automate these cards. So, some immediate cards will have a wild card industry tag, and they will be all 3 colors. That means you can put them underneath any of these 3 areas. Now, as I mentioned before, keep in mind you can only put 1 or 2 or 3 based on how many of these you have placed on the map. So you can't just go wild with these automation cards. We did talk a slight little bit about these flip abilities. Keep in mind these flip abilities. There are these 3 right here. They can be used once once per round, so maximum of 5 times during the game. Some things have an infinity symbol; those can be used all the time. Some things have an immediate symbol; those happen one time immediately. And some of these have a pass symbol on them. For example, this one is based on having sets of 3 cards that you have automated when you pass. If you have one of each card color automated, you're going to get 6 points. If you have 2 of each, 12 points. And if you've maxed it out at 3 of each, a whopping 24 points when you pass. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to get all of that until the end of the game, if that. I think I had 4 cards automated.
I can see how it's possible if you really focus on getting diamonds and making it happen.
Yes.
Again, this is a game where you really need to try and focus.
Yes. So, if you cannot do any of the other actions, you must pass. So, there are, as I mentioned before, there are 3 types of points. You are going to do your pass in this order. First, if your character board has any pass abilities, and those have this little symbol on it, if you have any pass abilities, that happens first. Second thing, if you have 3 different property tokens in a contiguous group, remember that is a city, and you are going to get city points based on how many cities you have. 1 city, 1 point. 2 cities, 2 points. 3 is 3, 4 is 5, 5 is 7, 6 is 9. That's a lot. And remember, these are city points, not victory points. City points are going to be worth 2 points or maybe 3 points, depending on how many of these buildings you've built per city point. 3 victory points per city point. That's a lot. The third thing you're going to check your industry points. Notice that there are these things that look like bridges here. Here, 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 and where's the 4th one? 1, 2, 3, and Stephanie, help me out. I thought, no, that's all there are. Just these 3 bridge spots.
No, the last one is here.
Is that? Oh.
It's just below. It's a little weird.
That is a little weird.
But you have to build the milk in order to pass it.
I'm not sure that is it.
Anyway, is for sure.
This will give you 1 point. This will give you 1 point. This will give you 2 points, and that counts for each of your vehicles that has crossed over that. So if I have my carriage here and my locomotive here, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 industry points. That's this little gear token. You're going to get 5 of these industry points. Industry points is going to be worth some amount based on how far you can push this track up. So, the 4th thing that you do is to check your round support tile. If you were underneath either of these, you're going to get points based on your pass. For example, how many cards have you played? You are going to get 1 point for each card you have played. Or this one, how many docks you have built to, you're going to get 3 points for each. But that only applies if you are in that column. Finally, you're going to gain victory points from those past citizen cards that you have. Like so, you're going to get all of your pass points there. Then you're going to move your round support token to a different column. I can't go where I am. I can't go where Steph is. So I need to go somewhere else. And what I recommend, it's not in the rules, but I would recommend putting your cylinder down flat to let everyone know you've passed. Then at that point, it's the Steph show because I have passed. I can't really do anything else. So there is a couple other things I want to talk about on your action phase regarding free actions and these special terrain tiles. These look like little castles of Burgundy castles.
Yeah.
They look totally like that to me. And they're going to start off not flipped. But when you flip them, how do you flip them, everyone?
Or the road.
That's right. You place a road next to it and you'll flip it. You're going to get whatever it says on this. And when you flip, you'll see, ta-da, it's right there. You're going to get whatever it says on that city tile. There's only one place you can put it on your map. Behold, it's right there.
I assume you still can put a building on it to get it again, the bonus.
I assume so. I
can
did
read
not
about it.
see it. You can read about it while I continue.
Yep.
Notice there are a lot of free actions you can take. You can do free actions as much as you like, as many times as you like, before, during, or after you've done your normal action. Even if you pass, you can take free actions. Because remember, pass is an action. So a card and 3 resources will give you a tile to place immediately on your board. Or a road on your board. 15 coins lets you draw a card. 4 coins gives you any resource. Any resource gives you a coin. 3 resources gives you any other resource. And a coin or a card gives you 2 resources. You'll probably use this quite a bit, that final one there. Also, as a free action, if you qualify, you can build your clock tower. You don't have to take an action to do so. You just take it as a free action. So, also as a free action, you can claim one of the milestone tiles that we do not have. Once a tile's been acquired, no one else can acquire that tile, and it's going to be worth 10 points at the end of the game. Here's a big catch. When the 3rd milestone card is taken, or the 3rd milestone tile is taken, return the other 2 to the box. Nobody gets them. So once Steph and I have both passed, we're going to do the cleanup phase. First, remove all the action discs from the action board. Then anybody holding an action disc has to return them to the supply. Aw, why'd you keep it? It's worth 2 resources.
Yeah.
And resources is worth money. So don't hold on to it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to place it there, I mean, that's going to give you 6 points. Or $6.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. But you have to have a card to do that. But yes.
Well, if you're
or a spare disc. Yeah, that's right.
Is free.
That is right. So each player with more than 2 cards in hand has to discard down to 1, because remember, you can keep exactly 1 card each round. Then you're going to flip all of your face down flip abilities. You're going to turn them back face up. Hey, you get to use it again next round. Then if you are using a character board that provides you a free once per round action, you're normally going to put a little resource cube on it to remind you that you've already used it. Obviously, you're going to remove that at this time as well. Then you're going to go on to the start phase of the next round. Now, the current version of the rules does not, at least I don't see where it is mentioned that you pass the start player token, but it only seems right to do so. Pass that first player token. So, at the end of the 5th round, you're going to do all of the game end scoring. And it has to go in this order. First, victory points that you have scored during the game. Well, that's easy. It's already on the right spot. Next, you're going to get victory points from these prosperity tracks. Tiles on the board, whether up or down. Cookie rabbits on the board. Roads on the board. Buildings placed on the board. Cards that you have tucked under and automated, and industry points that you have gained throughout the game. And those are the gear tracker points. Now, you might say, well, why didn't they just give us those as victory points earlier on? That's because if you've built level 5 of these buildings, you're going to get even more of that here in a second. Matter of fact, that's a couple steps away. You're going to get your victory points from your city points. And Steph, where is that? You know where that is. Oh, right here. Yeah. 1 point for every 1 city point is 2 victory points. Next, you're going to get your victory points from your tent tokens, your house tokens, and your factory tokens. building tokens. That's where you're going to get extra points for cookie rabbits, extra points per city point, and extra points per industry point that you've gotten during the game. Then you're going to get victory points for leftover money. 5 coins equals 1 victory point, and every diamond is 1 victory point. Then you're going to calculate how many port areas you've connected to. Don't be a -40 person, that's for sure. Then you're going to get your victory points from milestone tiles, 10 for each that is collected. And then you're going to get victory points from the final scoring tiles. Remember, we don't have those, but you are going to check everybody's layout. And if you have the most of whatever it's calling for, you're going to get 15 points. Second place, 7 points. If people tie for first, they each get 15, no second place. If 2 tie for second place, they each get 7 points. Each of those end game tiles will have a number. I'm not sure where it is on the card, but it's a virtual player number. It's as if they were playing the game. For example, if it's the most number of cities that people have amongst us, there may be a 2 or a 3 in the corner. That's the virtual player count. If you do not tie or beat that virtual player, you're not going to get any points for it. So keep that in mind. Most victory points wins if there are multiple players with the same score. Most cookie rabbits on the map board wins. And if you're still tied after that, it's shared. That's all the rules. That's a ton of them.
That's a lot of rules. Good job, Michael.
Yep.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So if you're into the heavy Euros, then you'll probably like this.
For sure.
Hopefully.
Yep.
We're that was consistent. That was like a good, like, not consistent, but like thorough rules.
Hopefully smooth.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, if you're looking for strategy, tiles get resources. Resources build buildings. Buildings give you more income or push you on that prosperity track. And don't try to do everything.
Yeah, you can't.
You're not going to get all of your docks built and all of your cookie rabbits built and all of your buildings built and all of your automation. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Focus on something. Find something that synergizes and run with it.
Yeah, and your character will often guide you.
Absolutely.
You want to focus on what your character offers you and what they're trying to get you to do.
Or what your initial deal.
Yeah, my initial deal does not jibe.
Mine's pretty good.
Oh, no. So if you want to see this next playthrough, we're going to be streaming that. And again, the video will be below because we're going to do 2 videos. This is the teach.
That's right. So if you enjoyed this teach and you want to see more teaches and playthroughs like we're about to do, come join us on YouTube at BoardGamerSteph. Or even better, you can join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph, where we stream live every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central. And how many games do we stream? 3 or more every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play all the games.
And for those on Twitch, we'll be right back.